Everybody. Welcome to the August 18th, 2020 meeting of the Town of Manchester Planning and Zoning Commission. We once again are holding this via the Zoom program. First item on the agenda tonight is for the approval of the July meeting minutes. Everyone should have received their packet via the mail. If you have not had a chance to review them, please take a minute to do so. After you review them, I will accept a motion to accept, deny, or change them.
This is Commission Member Leskinen. I make a motion that the July 21st, 2020 meeting minutes be accepted as submitted.
Commissioner Graham, I second the motion.
Very good. Motion on the floor has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, when I call your name, please give your response. Commission Member Leskinen?
Aye.
Commission Member Wilder?
Aye.
Commission Member Graham?
Aye.
Commission Member Burbank? Please unmute, Lair. Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, motion has been made and approved unanimously. Moving forward, reports. Michelle, you want to start off?
Yeah, we had, I don't know if I guess I already told you guys this, but the Woodhaven did request copies of both the May and the January 2016 tapes of the meetings, which are on YouTube, and that's where I told them to go and watch them. We did have that letter from Michael Stencil, which came in for you guys, and I did forward that to you. And then we have found out we have a property in town that is having problems with their well and would like to hook the town water. However, they are in our municipal growth area. No, they don't want to hook to town water, and they're in the municipal growth area, and they're in the water sewer master plan. So we have been talking with the county about removing them possibly from our plan so they can go ahead and dig a well on their property. We also will be needing to amend we got some work cut out for us, our water sewer master plan, because the triennial that was just completed in 2019 had our 2017 information in it, which did not include our municipal growth elements and their water and sewer calculations. I think that's all I have, unless Steve has something else.
Thank you, Michelle. Steve, you have anything from the town?
Just one item of importance for the commission and members. The Whispering Valley Stormwater Management Facility retrofit, that is basically complete now. I did receive the property transfer papers today from the county. So over the next month or so, that will be turned over to the town, the additional 3 acres that was acquired to complete that facility. Also, after talking to Mayor Warner, we're going to try to get everybody, keep our fingers crossed, and it's all based on how the COVID cases are going, but we're going to try to get you back in the building, hopefully in September. We're doing our best. You know, we have to monitor how things are going at that time, but I know the mayor and council has spoken about that. So we're going to try to get everybody in the building, if you feel comfortable with it, in September. So we're doing our best. Also with the COVID situation, we have started receiving our CARES funding. We have started purchasing things related to the COVID pandemic. A secondary communication system for all of our people in regards to police, DPW, and admin. We're also looking at portable showers and purchasing those for our police department, also our DPW works. Our next purchase, we're looking at numerous laptops and tablets for our folks to work remotely. So we're working on that. Those funds have to be spent by December 31st. So we're working actively to take care of that. So, any questions for me?
Sounds good. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Dale, anything from the council?
Just conducted normal business. I just summarized where we stand with things, gave more agenda items. So that was it. Nothing, say, unusual.
Very good. Thank you. Price, how's everything over in Westminster?
Going well. Today we finalized the provisional vote for the comp zoning when it comes to the by request. We had roughly 30 over the last two planning commission meetings. So we finalized the provisional votes for those. Looking to go September 2nd back to planning commission for the final votes for that aspect. And then we'll go through the process of going in front of Board of County Commission, posting the properties, sending letters out, that type of stuff. So that's the big thing going on there. I also sent the spring amendment to MDE. They have that for their final review and approval. And of course, obviously, we'll be getting with Michelle and Steve so we can work on the fall amendment pertaining to the Woodhaven properties. And then, of course, that one property that's actually 2 doors up from there to get that on the amendment to have that one removed and this other two, work on those to get those put into the system and have the best calculations we can for the actual demand that's going to be needed for those properties. And besides that, not much else is going on. We're still, everybody's back in the office. The planners are working one day remotely still. And I do know until further notice, as far as I know, so even if the town goes back into in-person aspect, I can send my comments, but until further notice, we'll be working via, remote access when it comes to council meetings, that type of thing. So I've actually been to Hampstead since February. So until we get that aspect going forward, again, like I said, I'll forward all my comments and any updates to both Michelle and Steve, so you have that aspect for the council meetings or for the planning commission meeting. But of course, once we get the go ahead to come back and able to do in person the meetings, I'll be back in the saddle again.
Do you have any idea when that might be? Do you have any idea?
Unfortunately, I do not. I know from this morning's meeting with our planning commission, it was stated for the foreseeable future, we're going to be meeting still remotely. I do not know when the county commission is thinking about actually going to go back to either a hybrid or that type of thing. But as soon as we get something from the county administrator, I'll definitely let the towns know when we'll be able to be back in person.
Bryce, is that in person in your office or in person at any location where you might need to be?
Any location.
Okay, so if we decide to have our meeting in person next month, you may not be able to attend that in person.
That is correct.
Yeah, we're trying to do that where I work, is try to find out how we can work a hybrid where some people are sitting in a room together and we're also on Zoom with people who are remote.
Correct. If we're still doing that. Even when we're all in the office together, our staff meetings are all via go-to meetings. So we're actually in their individual offices talking to each other.
Okay, well, if it moves forward and we meet in person in September, playing in prior to that, I'll talk with Steve and Michelle. Maybe we can at least do a real brief Zoom with you directly, and you can give your report, see everybody, say hello, then head on out. Okay? All right, okay. Very good.
Sounds good.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Okay, first item on the agenda tonight is the Manchester Valley High School electronic sign. I believe, Mr. Collender, you're here representing that group. Need to unmute, sir.
Unmute. Got it. Can you hear me now? All right, good. Yeah, so I'm Matt Colliner from the Manchester Valley Advisory Committee, and I'm working on the electronic sign. We raised $50,000 for a beautiful double-sided LED sign, and we did a meeting with the town council, a Zoom meeting with town council and the mayor. We got the nod that we could look at putting it potentially at the telephone pole kind of location that's at the south end of the pump house land that's right in front of the school. So this is mainly because there's crazy easements on the corner where we would like to put it. We have people coming from the south and turning in. We'd like them to be able to see the sign, and the people from the north, as well as everybody traveling on Route 30. So as close to that corner as possible is what the committee is trying to accomplish. So it was indicated that pulling power off the pump house was not ideal from the town's perspective and to pursue other options. I talked this past week with Jim Marks, who was involved with building the school in the first place. And he is helping me to try to work through that problem. The conversation I had this past week is that power would need to be blown through a conduit line that comes out at the kind of the Route 30 side of that terraced wall that says Manchester Valley High School. There's a little access point there. It would have to be blown through. I don't know why it's not there already if there was a conduit there, but I'd like to inspect that actually and see if there is power in there. But if that has to happen, and then it needs to be trenched along Route 30, and there's a lot of concerns as far as high pressure gas lines, et cetera. He said that would be very, very costly. So I pressed him. I said, how much do you think? You know, I'm not holding you to it, but how much do you think? So after a couple pressings, he said it could be $40,000 to $50,000 just to run electricity from the school through the conduit down Route 30 to the sign. So that's a problem, right? Because that's an awful lot of money for the sign. So my mind went to solar this week. Like, what if it was possible to somehow power the sign with solar? Maybe that's a good story. It's right next to the, protected wetlands that are right there. It kind of goes along with the green story. And maybe there'd be a solar company that would be willing to help with that in the meantime. So we don't have if any of you in planning, Steve, if you have another path, I'll take it offline, but I'm still working on trying to access power for the sign at that location. As it is now, we have the money for the sign. We just need to get proper power to it. So that's really the update from our committee.
Okay. Just before you come back and encounter us, we'd like to have drawings of the sign with dimensions, how it's going to look, north and south,
Sure.
All the details about the sign itself. We would also like to see the MOU between the town, the school system, and your group to make sure that it's properly, who's going to take care of it, who's responsible for what. And so really, there's not much we're really going to do for you until you're almost towards the end and we're talking about placement and how it meets our zoning laws. So when you get all that together, feel free to call Michelle and get back on the agenda. Wish you all the best.
That sounds great.
With that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll hop off now. Enjoy your meeting, guys.
Bye-bye. All right. The only other item on the agenda, as it was stated earlier, Patriots Overlook is not going to be at tonight's meeting due to some technical issues. I'm sorry, Equine Meadows. Sorry. So the only thing left on tonight's agenda is Patriots annexation. So we had a work session not too long ago. So I think that went fairly well. So I will open the floor for any commission member comments, questions, or concerns.
This is Commission Member Leskinen. Just a reminder to the other commission members that I've recused myself from this discussion.
Got it. So Scott, that means you in play for the vote, please. Thank you.
Does
Anybody? Go ahead.
feel like we have enough information to go forward with a vote tonight? And forgive me if I've kind of overlooked something. I know in past annexation discussions, we took a really hard look at all the pros, all the cons. We looked at all the conditions that might be entered into the annexation agreement. Part of me feels like I haven't really got my arms all around that. So does everybody else feel comfortable with everything we have and putting together the conditions, that possible conditions that would go into an annexation plan?
So I think for the most part, and anybody else is, from the commission is welcome to speak up. I think we're pretty much in the same place we were with the Lippy property, with maybe some minor exceptions. Michelle did send us all the different maps, and the one thing I keep looking at from that is the how much of old wood area and woodland that will be destroyed for this, both in the county and in the town. Is one thing. I'm not a big fan of the projections for revenue. I think that's, in my mind, there's a lot of county and state estimates in here, which not really directly help the town. But I mean, I think we're in the same spot. And again, I've not putting words in Scott's mouth, but he did mention it during the work session. We have this development, and then right over the hill, we're currently dealing with the Equine Acres or Equine Meadows development, which puts anywhere between 120 and 140 cars on Park Avenue into town, or going toward 27 on Old Fort Schoolhouse. So those are just some things to consider, along with the fact that whatever revenue the town would get, that's yet to be seen and to see how things go. But I mean, I don't see much difference in the two properties. I think it's the basic question we've all said: what benefits does the town get by annexing property from the county? So that's my take from general discussion. Please, anybody else, any other commission member, feel free to speak up.
So Commissioner Graham, I think we've gone through most of the elements as was just stated. I think there's a little bit of a difference here whereby some of the prior annexations have had other elements which consumed a lot of discussion time. Most recently, we spent a lot of time talking about master plan roadways that were supposed to connect from in town to state roads. We talked a lot about, coordination of design with state agencies and others. So to me, I think, yes, this was a somewhat shorter period. I think we've covered all the necessary bases with this. I think that, they've presented a couple options, which are just that, they're options. They're not being voted on in any way, shape, or form. They just document that it could potentially lay out as such and would all be subject to future discussions. How much impact there would be to, forest, et cetera, remains to be seen. That's final detailed planning or and careful engineering for saves or not saves. Yes, there would be two new developments coming in on Park Avenue Extended. That does happen from time to time. But I feel that I've received enough information to make a recommendation one way or another.
I seem to recall, thank you, Bob. I seem to recall that around the time we were making our vote, we also had a list of conditions that went along with that. So whatever recommendation we were going to make to the council, we said either way, here are some of the conditions we think should be met. I don't feel like we've gotten to that, because if the commission decides unanimously there are no conditions, that could sway a vote one way. If we say, gee, I've got a whole page full of conditions, that could sway a vote a different way. Do we have anything like that? Is there any conditions that have been kind of thought of?
Yeah, we do. I mean, if you did you look in your packet? I mean, Michelle, did you send the same packet to everybody that I got?
Yes. Yes, I did.
So there should be two items, Dale, in your packet that show the four primary conditions that we're recommending that go into either way, no matter which way the commission votes, where we have four standard recommendations that will be in there. Did you look at those by any chance?
My apologies. I might have skipped over that. So my
That's
apologies.
okay.
It was
That's
part
okay.
of the letters.
Do you
So
want me
I had same thing, Dale, the conditions, but basically they're all here. The R20,000, the water and sewer, transportation's addressed, final plans, and then Bob's not complicated, but complicated to me, the 20% reserve before and after and sideways and that one. But my comments on it are I do think I've been presented with information for annexation piece, development. The actual final layout is to be determined. But the annexation piece is, I feel like it's, I have enough information to make a decision whether or not it's better to be annexed or not to be annexed. And with the key points for me are the roads being dual county versus city, and trash pickup, and part of it in the county and part of it not, and snow removal and our snow trucks turning around on county property, and then the county trucks having to go through ours to do their piece of it. And then so all those shared things. And then the pieces I'm not 100% on, because I don't understand the actual law in it, is where as it currently sits, there can be duplex. Pardon me if I use the wrong terms, guys, you can correct me, but right now it can be duplexes and county with the water and sewer. It'd be almost the same amount of lots if we had duplexes plus the county ones. And then if we annex, I think one of the conditions was we didn't do duplex, that it would be single family homes if it goes. And then one of the things that stood out to me is that these aren't necessarily your beginning starter homes. I think the price point was $425 or $400,000. Maybe Mr. Powers can add to that, or Mr. Hackett. But if I remember correctly, these weren't going to be little teeny cookie cutter houses. These were your larger, or better homes for the area. I think the price point was higher than the other development equine, if I'm not mistaken. So I think by annexing, if we get that one piece where we can take the duplex piece out of it, it stands out for me. But I think that I have enough information to make a decision on annexing, maybe not actual development structure, but so those are my comments, Alex.
Scott, do you mean to be saying duplex, or do you mean cluster versus single homes? Cluster, okay.
Cluster, that's the proper word.
Right, okay, I want to make sure that we're not talking
to me,
about
cluster is almost like a duplex.
Okay.
It's not the right, the wording. Cluster means you can group them together tighter. Is that correct?
Exactly, but you kept using duplex, and I want to make sure for the
I know.
record, you weren't talking duplexes.
I have a house sitting on top of house in my head, but it wasn't the right, I was searching for the right word, and cluster would not come to my head. So
Okay.
when somebody would jump out with the right term for me.
But the clustering is something that we decided during planning, not something to be part of our conditions for this annexation plan. Is that correct?
Correct. The other thing is, Scott, that it also have to remember that things that stay in the county have to be welled and perked. So lot yield can change, as we told Mr. Hill, can change quite drastically depending on how that works out. Larry, do you have anything you want to add, or are you good to go?
Good to go.
Okay, thank you. Dale, I guess that leaves you, whether you're ready or not, or what else can we do to help you?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. All right, so before us, gentlemen, is the, someone to make a motion to recommend annexation or not recommend annexation. So the floor is open. Oh, I'm sorry, delay that. Mr. Powers, one of the Powers. Gentlemen, do you have anything to say before we take the vote?
I think, Mr. Hackett and Clark have, expressed, our feeling about the annexation. I mean, the property is bifurcated by the county and the town line. The majority of it's still being over in the town, with a portion of it being in the county. The logistical piece of it, we talked to Steve about that, and the logistics and why we think that the annexation should be supported by the town. My brother and I have a history of producing high quality developments. We feel that the quality of the houses, they'll be single family, and the quality of the houses will be equal or better to typical to anything up in that area in Manchester. And we are just anxious and looking forward to being able to develop it and bring the project to fruition. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have, or any concerns for sure. So if anybody has any questions or concerns, Clark could speak. Marty Hackett, my engineer, is here, and as well as my brother and I.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Are there any other comments that need to be added to the record? Okay. Seeing none, the floor is open to the commission for a motion to recommend or not recommend. And please just be very clear when you make your motion, because it's being recorded so we know what we're voting on.
Commissioner Graham, I make a motion that we make a recommendation for annexation of the Patriots Overlook property, conditioned upon the document already sent.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Motion is on the floor to recommend annexation of the Patriots Overlook property with the conditions already set.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second by Scott. All right, so here's how, I'm sorry.
I didn't say my name. Go ahead.
That's all right, I gotcha. Okay, we have a motion made by Commissioner Graham, seconded by Commissioner Henderson. Noting again for the record, Commissioner Leskinen has recused himself. I will go around to the commission members. Please be very clear, a yay or a nay for this motion. Commissioner Wilder.
Yay.
Commissioner Graham.
Yay.
Commissioner Burbank.
Nay.
I'm sorry, Larry, can you be clear?
Yeah, nay.
Okay. Commission Member Henderson.
Yeah.
Okay, and my vote is nay. The motion carries with a vote of 3-2. Are there any questions? Michelle, do you have anything else for the meeting?
Okay, I want to redo that. So you said we had 2 no's?
Correct. Myself and Commissioner Burbank voted no.
Okay, thank you. I didn't hear him. Thank you.
Can we confirm that?
Larry, can you, your vote was no, is that correct?
That's correct. No.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, I believe that takes us through tonight's, Michelle, I will get this signed and bring it up to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Now.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order?
I have one post comment on the school sign. Should we have let him know about the proposed annexation intersection issues on the Hill property? He's trying to put a sign. If that annexation passes and Marty has to redo that intersection, he's trying to put that sign right where Marty's going to have to put the new road.
Well, I think, I
ahead,
think
Larry.
Scott, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bob.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think he's really far away from coming back before us. I think there's a lot of stuff he has to do with the school system, getting his pricing, where he's gonna put it. The MOU is gonna be a big issue. I think we can all agree that the school system does things absolutely not fast. And
Well, it sounded
sometimes-
like cart before the horse, like they raised money for a sign they didn't even have approval for or know where it was gonna go, nor how to build it, nor how to power it. So
I would agree with that.
there's a huge amount of issues with that.
Right. So I think once he gets his MOU worked out between the town and the school system and gets all that, by the time he gets to us, we might be in a completely different position with him, with that sign.
I also just want to add that, right now, the improvements that are out there are what's there. If and when any improvements are done along Route 30 by anyone, the conditions most likely will be something different and they'll have to address those conditions. So if that would entail moving a sign that was constructed 6 months earlier, that would include that.
Good point. Thank you, Bob. All right, just to let everybody know on your calendar, so let's see.
Alex,
Yes,
just one other thing I wanted to bring up. We are scheduled, I'm planning for a meeting next September 15th.
correct. That's what I'm looking at. Yep.
Equine Meadows does want to come back in, but however, I'd also like us to start again on our our small cell ordinance. Because we kind of forgot about that when all these annexations came in.
Okay, I guess I got that mixed up with the solar ordinance that was approved by council. So we got to finish up that ordinance.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
small cell one.
Gotcha. Okay. So everybody, if you put on your calendars, Tuesday, September 15th, with the small cell tower issues to take care of, and most likely I'm going to hedge my bets and say the Equine Meadows presentation may be fairly long with some questions. Can we start at 7, Michelle, in Town Hall?
Yeah, we can.
Yep. I'd like to start at 7 o'clock, please. If for some reason we go to Zoom, we would have the same time. So Tuesday, September 15th, 7 p.m. At the Town Hall, unless otherwise notified.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, very good. With that being said, motion to adjourn.
I make a
Commission
motion
member
to adjourn.
Leskinen. Bob, go ahead. I'll second Bob's motion.
Okay, sounds good. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night. Thank you.
Right.